Welcome to AHA. And do we, AHA is a human among humans. I'm Michael Koran. We have an extraordinary human with us tonight. I am honored to be his friend, and he's going to tell us about the theater scene, all the enlightenment and education we can get from the theater around Boston and maybe other places. This is Jules Becker. You can go online and see your reviews. Yes.
Yes, they can.
Thank
you, Michael. If they go to, first of all, South End News.
Yeah.
It's online. They're in print as well, but they're online. It's a weekly. And Bay Windows, which is the LGBTQ weekly, they can get that online and in print. And also the Jewish Journal, which is a bi-weekly, and they can get that online and in print as well.
Good.
And
sometimes, but now we're going to get him for real. None of this online we have, at least I do. You're seeing him on television or at YouTube.
Yeah.
But we're getting...
Well, it's in print. I mean, it's,
yes, yeah, but this is live. We're live now.
That's right.
And Jules, I call him Yehuda, is my wonderful Hebrew teacher for many years.
Right. And also a cantor, and that's where people know me as a cantor.
Yes.
Yehuda.
Yes. Oh, good.
For synagogue and holidays and even assisted living places these days too.
Oh my.
Okay. Yeah.
In touch. Okay, so what's happening in the theater scene?
Well, first of all, there's people always love to go to free theater.
Yes.
And there's free theater coming up at Shakespeare in the park. You know, they have that in New York, and the same landscaper, so to speak, Olmsted, who did Central Park, also did the Common. And there's free Shakespeare in Central Park. There's also free Shakespeare at the Boston Common. And this year, it's Richard III.
Which is a brutal play.
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is. And the actor's name is Farhan Tahir. He's been on some TV, I believe, as well. But they get a lot of local actors, and it's a professional production.
And
it's free, but it's professional.
And you have to get there early to get good seats, yes?
Generally, yes.
What time? Do you know the timing?
It's 8 o'clock performances, 8 o'clock performances.
So can they get there, bike over there at 7? Or
yeah, people take food with them, and they take blankets.
And the bugs won't bother us at night?
Well, if you have the right things to keep the bugs away.
Oh.
Yeah. It's July 18th to August 5th.
So it's starting soon?
Right. And for the press, it opens officially on the 25th, July 25th officially. So that's something. And also, there's a very good small young group called Praxis Stage.
Yes.
And
you can look there. Those are the people who love you.
Right, thank you.
Oh,
Practice Stage moves around. They did a very good production of The Plague, based on Albert Camus.
Wow.
Yeah. And I saw that at the Boston Playwrights Theater at BU. And they move around because they don't have, it's hard these days for a lot of theaters.
They must have done The Plague a long time ago, yes?
What, The Plague?
Yes.
They didn't do it that long ago, actually.
I don't know, how come I missed that? I love the Boston Playwrights Theater. I missed it.
It was a strong production,
in
fact, yeah. Sorry about that. But they are doing Henry IV, Part 1, at 2 parks, the Danahy Park, and the dates for that one are, it's through July 22nd, it's already ongoing. And the other one is at Longfellow Park, the same play, July 25th through the 29th. So, and that's free, just like the one in Boston.
And what time, do you know?
That one I believe is at 8 o'clock as well, but they can check at practicestage.com if they like. Practicestage.com. And
these are great plays, and the playwright is up and coming, yes?
Shakespeare.
Yes.
Up and coming, very cool. Okay. Meanwhile, back in Boston, you have Aladdin, which is similar in terms of spirit to Beauty and the Beast. It's the Disney productions. It's Alan Menken, very good composer, who composed for Beauty and the Beast. And people who know the cartoon, the animated feature, will appreciate this one as well. There's a magic carpet, visually very stunning. You see them up in the air. You know, Aladdin and his girlfriend Jasmine are up in the air on a magic carpet. And you have all the stars, and it's dark, so you don't see the wires that hold them up. But, you know, it's very good. And there's shooting stars mentioned in the song as well. So very romantic.
Do you remember any lyrics from the song?
You know, a whole new world, la 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 la. You know that was.
No, I don't know.
People know that. Oh, you don't know that one. Okay. Well, people will know it.
Very
People will
nice.
know it. Yeah, thank you.
Where is this happening?
This is at the Opera House.
Oh, so it's big.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that
And it's there through August 5th.
Yes.
So people still have time to see it. I recommend it. The storyline is relatively thin.
So what was the story?
But the singing is
Aladdin
excellent.
had a magic lamp and
Right.
he rubbed it and got
Right,
wishes?
and the genie is superb, in fact. I should mention his name. The genie's name is, okay.
Well, we can handle it if you don't.
All right,
you know.
all right.
But what happens to what? This is not a secret because people know the story, but I don't remember. When Aladdin rubs the lamp,
You know, well,
what's,
he gets 3 wishes.
and what does
So,
he wish
you know,
for?
Well, you know, one of the wishes is that that he should be become a prince, because he feels that he's underwhelmed as a person, that that Jasmine won't respect him enough because he's not a well-to-do person.
Oh, he wants to marry
He starts
the
off
queen.
as a thief,
Oh.
no, a petty thief.
How does he
basically.
find the lamp? How does he find it?
Well, you know, at one point he's grabbing some things and a lamp comes up.
As a thief?
Yeah, yeah. And
And then
anyway, but he's a good person. He's kind. In fact, it's cute. There's like a challah, you know, a braided Jewish bread. In fact, even though it's Arab settings, it looks like a challah. And the composer's Jewish. I mean, there's a lot of Jewish involvement. There's some Jewish words here and there. So, so he gives this bread to a beggar woman that shows his kindness. So, you know, he deserves to do well. He's basically a kind-hearted person. And anyway, eventually he has to decide whether to help the genie, because the genie feels trapped. You know, giving all these wishes, he has to decide whether to free the genie from doing what he does, or doing something else. And I won't give everything away to those who don't know, but it's well done, and the costumes are gorgeous, and the lighting terrific. The voices, the lead voices are very good.
And they're singers, right?
Yeah, yeah,
and dancers too.
It's a professional tour, and it's here through August 5th. And so, it's, you know, kids will enjoy it.
Yes.
This confetti comes down at one point. Everybody loves that, of course. And it's a good production. It's a nice production. Next month, in fact, they've got Broadway in Boston is doing this. And they have the Book of Mormon coming back. It's been back a few times.
And you've seen it.
Yeah.
And you like it.
I like it within limits. I think the lyrics are not as strong as the music. The dancing is very good. Some of the offensiveness is not as clever per se as the offensiveness in the producers. If you're familiar with the producers,
Yes.
that's quite an extraordinary work.
So is it? It's
But
about the founding of the Mormons.
No,
Oh.
it gets into that to some extent, but it's more about friendship between Mormons that work together. They have this pairing off of Mormons, and I found, and maybe some African Americans find, that it's kind of demeaning to African Americans.
Ouch.
So, you know, but it's doing very well in New York, and people have to decide on their own about that.
Yeah.
You know, what they think
It was
of that.
hugely successful.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But the really big one that I'm very excited about, also Broadway in Boston.
Oh, but lucky you, you're talking about plays you're going to see,
Right, well, okay, yeah. Is Hamilton,
and which you have seen.
yes. Hamilton I'm very excited about. This is the playbill from New York. In fact, I was lucky enough to get one press seat because it's such a high demand. And it's really worth it. All the hype wasn't just hype. It's terrific.
Oh, I'd love to see it, but it'll be in a big theater and very expensive.
Well, it's here for 2 months.
And very
From
expensive.
mid-September to mid-November.
Yes, and I'm sure.
Yeah, it'll be expensive.
I'm sure you
They
have people.
probably will have some sort of a lottery. There may be special rush tickets for students, I suspect.
Oh.
It does a
But
great
you
job
get
with
a
it
seat. You get 2 seats probably. You'll take your beloved
here, not
wife.
in New York, but here.
You'll take your beloved
Yeah,
wife.
yeah,
Yes.
thank you. And it does a great job with the history factors. It also, it's not afraid to show that there were tensions between the founding fathers.
And it's a one-person play, right?
No.
Oh, it isn't.
No,
I thought
not
it
at
was.
all.
Oh,
Hamilton, are you kidding?
how foolish I
No,
am.
no, no. You're not a fool. It's okay.
Yes. Oh, thank God.
No, it's quite a large cast.
Oh.
You have Jefferson, George Washington, the various
Aaron Burr,
women,
I'm sure.
Aaron Burr, of course. And what's interesting is there's a number called the Ten Commandments of Dueling. And as I mentioned to Michael earlier, Hamilton studied the Ten Commandments in Hebrew, no less, on the island of Nevis in the Caribbean. And there's a book coming out next year, published by Harvard University Press, that's supposed to suggest that he may have been Jewish himself, and not just studied with a Jewish teacher.
But hid it from.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't sure if it would be,
Helpful.
it would be helpful at that time to mention it, but he never said anything negative about Jews. And in fact, there was a parade in New York, interestingly enough, that was coinciding with the Jewish fast day, and the parade was when New York ratified the Constitution, and he persuaded the people organizing the parade to postpone it one day,
Well,
so it wouldn't coincide
he might
with the
well
fast
have-
day. Yeah.
Well, have been Jewish.
Yes, he might very well have been, which would be quite something.
And was he Puerto Rican?
No, his mother, I think was British. His actual father apparently, some say he was a Danish Jew or a Dutch Jew.
And he was.
His name was Lavien, sort of like Levine.
Oh my.
Lavien.
But he was brought up as an orphan or by a single mother.
Yeah. Well, his father had passed at a certain point. His mother passed when he was young. But this teacher was a great mentor also.
Oh my.
The Jewish teacher.
And he came to America. Huh?
Yeah.
So this was a British Caribbean, one of the Caribbean islands.
Right, called Nevis. Yeah.
Nevis.
Yeah. What's interesting is that in the show, as you may or may not know, the cast is largely Hispanic and African Americans. When I saw it in New York, there was an African American Jewish actor playing Jefferson and Lafayette, because Jefferson, as some people will know, was ambassador to France at one point.
Yes.
And Lafayette, of course, a French hero who helped America during the Revolution. And France is our greatest ally, our oldest ally. And by the way, they won the World Cup today.
Yes.
And I kind of was wearing these colors, with the exception of the green, of course, but the blue, the white, the red, in solidarity with the French for today. So that was a great thing. And especially talking about Hamilton. So there's quite a cast to it. And people think it's just rap, but it really isn't just rap. There's some R&B qualities to it. There's some balladry. There's even a funny song that King George sings at one point.
Can you understand it, or is it too?
Yeah. No, it's because it's not too fast. It's not ultra fast.
Can you really understand
Yes.
all the words?
Yes, the words are articulate.
Wow.
And it's not too fast.
And you get good seats, of course.
Oh, even people who don't get the closest seats
Yes.
should be able to figure it out. But it's very clever, and it shows you Hamilton's contribution to New York, because without Hamilton, New York wouldn't be what it is today. So there's a number about New York being the greatest city, and also about his being Secretary of the Treasury, and very instrumental for George Washington. But it also gets into the rivalry with Aaron Burr, and of course, eventually the sad.
And they were rivals
the sad duel.
because?
Rivalry in terms of achievement, in terms of points of view.
Because Burr didn't achieve much, right?
Not much. Well, he was vice president at one point. But
Burr was vice president? Are you sure?
Pretty sure about that.
No.
No?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm not as dumb as I look.
Nobody said you were
I
dumb.
promised that
Oh,
Burr
here
was
we
not
go.
vice
All right,
president.
here we go. Maybe.
Unless under Adams. No, Jefferson was vice president under Adams.
Yeah,
And Adams was vice president under Washington.
okay.
So and why did they?
Or he wanted to be, I think, maybe that's it. But,
Why did they fight? I think Burr insulted his daughter or something.
yeah, well, there was some, he took liberties and, there's not enough time to get into all
Oh, I
this,
see.
but,
Funny in those days, you'd fight a duel and get killed.
yeah.
Boy,
It's sad that they even allowed duels because of,
yeah.
and especially in this case, it's probably the greatest loss from a duel in terms of what
How old
what
was he?
Hamilton
Do you
was able
know?
to do.
It was young enough to fight a duel.
It's fairly young, I think.
It's sad. In a
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
One of our great leaders gets
Yeah.
killed in a duel.
yeah. Now here's, this is the actor who played Burr, who actually won a Tony Award. I mean, you can see the great costuming. They took home 11 awards, and rightly so.
Wow.
The costumes, the lighting,
Wow.
there are zones on stage where things are happening, and there isn't a dull moment in the whole thing to my
Oh
mind.
my.
This is really strong. And here's Lin-Manuel Miranda, who played Hamilton in New York.
And wrote it,
Yeah,
right?
and wrote it as well, yeah. Also the
And he's
composer.
young, right?
He's also the composer for In the Heights, so he has a Tony for In the Heights.
No.
Tony for this.
What
In the Heights was nice, but this is far superior.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how young is he?
Lin-Manuel Miranda, somewhere in his 30s, I think. I mean,
Fine.
he's quite talented, so that one is, I would say for people who, because I'm not sure what the tickets will be like at the box office.
Oh.
It's probably the best place to go for it. It'll be less expensive. If you try by credit card, they probably give you extra charges. But I would say that if somebody had to choose something big to go to,
Yes.
choose this one. And
Oh,
like some people choose a concert.
$100 for
Well,
to sit all the way in the back.
I'm not sure. It's but I would say plan for it.
Well, I'm happy, but I don't
Yeah.
think I can see the less.
By the way, I happen to know that Fiddler, they're doing it in Yiddish in New York. I haven't seen
Help.
it. Haven't seen it yet. No, but
It
Yiddish.
might limit our audience.
No, but Yiddish is a good language. I'm sure they have subtitles or surtitles, because I saw Indecent, and they had surtitles for that. Indecent was based on a Sholem Asch.
So how did what they
story.
put big subtitles on this right
Well, people
above
do
the
it.
stage?
People do it. Yeah.
Above the, like above or what?
Yeah, above. Yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I'd love
Could be done.
operas to be done that way, so I know.
But the thing with Fiddler is people who have any sense of Hebrew will know that Yiddish has a lot of Hebrew in it, and so in terms of another language to do it in,
yes.
that would be a very good language. And a lot of the people probably spoke a certain amount of Yiddish in the shtetls, in Europe as well. So Joel Grey is directing it, by the way.
Who is
The famous Joel Grey,
famous?
Cabaret.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't- oh,
I maybe vaguely
a
remember.
very fine actor who played the MC in Cabaret as the movie and on stage. Okay.
See, who's an emissary, encouraging us to support
Well,
Boston
yeah.
theater.
Now here's one in Boston. It's not expensive. It's a group called Hub Theater of Boston, and they, by the way, are doing. I think in November they're doing Peter and the Starcatcher, which is a wonderful story that explains how Peter Pan became Peter Pan. It sort of starts off with the origins of Peter Pan.
Oh my!
It's a very clever show,
Yes.
and rightly won quite a few Tony Awards in New York. It was supposed to come here on tour, and didn't. The Lyric Stage did it at one point fairly well, and the Hub Theater of Boston is doing it, I think, in November. So that's this group.
It's called We the People.
No.
Oh,
It's-
this is
it's-
the Peter Pan one.
Yeah, Peter and the Starcatcher. And this is called The Taming. It's by Lauren Gunderson. There was a play called Silent Sky in Boston about women astronomers, women involved with,
Yes,
with the
yes.
stars. Very nice
I think
play.
they did it next door here. No?
They did something like it here. It was
Yes.
a different playwright.
Yeah.
Anyway, The Taming, it's based on The Taming of the Shrew. It's sort of a light connection with The Taming of the Shrew, but it's clever, and it's dealing with Republicans and Democrats, liberals and conservatives. It has humor, it has some satire. The acting could be stronger in spots, and the direction could be sharper, but even with that, it's not expensive, and it's a good play, so it's worth attention.
And where's the Hub Theater?
Hub Theater, they're performing at Club Cafe. Every summer they go to Club Cafe, which is at the corner of Berkeley and Columbus Avenue in Boston.
And people are eating while it's happening, or?
No,
No.
but you can get a drink at the bar.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have little tables. People sit at little tables.
Oh, my.
Also, I'd recommend Gloucester Stage. People who don't mind schlepping a little bit, they did Dancing in Lunasa, a very good Irish play. It's the run has ended, but they've just started Cyrano, the famous Cyrano de
Wow.
Bergerac, and they do sometimes musicals, but they do a fair amount
They
of
have to
plays.
be good because they're far away and people wouldn't. I love the Gloucester, and I
Gloucester
love the
Stage.
Lowell, too.
Yeah. Oh, Lowell is wonderful.
It's a
too.
trip.
But Lowell doesn't do anything in the summer.
Oh.
But they've been doing some wonderful
The
work.
Gloucester, you can go swimming, and then we have done that in
Yeah,
England.
yeah. And they've got an actor who should be well known to this area, Jeremiah Kissel, who's in it. He's playing Cyrano.
Mm.
And there's a very good African American actor, interestingly enough, in the part of Christian de Noblette.
So this is the
who's
old
the young
play,
guy.
it's not a rewritten play.
It's sort of adapted a bit.
Oh,
It just opened, so
Yeah.
I've yet to see this production. But James Malord, who plays the young fellow, is quite a good actor. So the two of them, it should be very
it
interesting.
was a good movie with Steve Martin.
Yeah, it was clever. It was clever. That's true. Okay. All right. Now we have Speakeasy Stage. Speakeasy Stage.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah, they're
They're
terrific.
small, too.
Yeah, and they're doing a very ambitious year, because there's a play called Fun Home that was done in Boston about a dysfunctional family based on a graphic novel, and Alison Bechdel was the author.
Yeah.
It was a highly regarded graphic novel.
Fun Home.
Fun Home,
So you could read the novel after you've seen the play.
the graphic novel. Yeah,
Yes.
it's like a cartoon, but
Yeah.
for adults, it's clever.
Yeah.
And so Speakeasy is going to be doing that, which is fairly ambitious, but they rise to the occasion.
Ambitious because.
Hmm?
Why is it ambitious?
Well, there are different zones in it. There are 3 actors playing Allison when she's a child, when she's in college, when she's fully grown up, and they have to work together at times. And also the role of the father, who's kind of predatory. He's married, but he has this attraction to young guys, and based on the real father of this Alison Bechdel. And on Broadway, I saw Michael Cerveris, who's an excellent actor, played it, won a Tony Award on Broadway, and it's a very challenging part. So, but they usually rise to the occasion.
And you don't mind
Speakeasy.
seeing it again, right? You're happy.
No, it's a very strong work. So
Oh, like it's
Happy
called
they're
Fun
doing it.
Home. And when is
Right.
it? When is it happening?
that's happening. I believe it's October, November.
Yum. Thank you. What
This,
else?
this
are
one
they
is
doing?
later. This one is later.
We only have
Small
time
mouth
flies when you're having fun.
I know.
We have 3 more minutes.
Small Mouth Sounds
Yes.
is a play where they come in, and the test is to communicate without talking at times. Yeah, it's a very clever play.
Is that interesting?
Yeah, very clever play.
Small
I
mouth
saw it
sound.
off Broadway, and Speakeasy often does off Broadway material, and
you like it?
It's quite good. Yeah, quite clever.
Oh, interesting.
Also challenging in terms
We
of
are
the
getting
lyrics
a
and it.
gift of what's coming
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
We still have 2.5 minutes. Of
Right, and the other strong local contender, so to speak, is Lyric Stage, and they're starting their year with Kiss of the Spider Woman, which I guess maybe I like better than you do.
I might
But-
try it again. I didn't
Okay,
like it at the
okay.
North Shore.
It's Well, Cheetah Rivera was in the original. It's quite. I think it's quite a strong work. Actually,
And what else
It's
are
done
they
well.
doing since I'm not that
At Lyric Stage?
Remember?
I have to look up some
Oh,
of the things they're doing.
okay.
But that's. I figured, this is the beginning of the year.
Yes,
If I
yes,
come
yes,
back, I
yeah.
can talk about some more
Yes,
things.
yes.
There's a lot. There's really a lot going on, and
And again, they could see all your reviews.
yeah. Well, thank you.
You've
for
written
that,
like
yeah.
how many reviews in your life? Like
Oh my God.
10,000?
Thousands. Yeah.
Thousands and
It's
thousands.
so many. Yeah.
And
But
some
I
of them
enjoy
are,
what I do.
and some of them are online.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of them are
And
online.
tell us again the website.
Yeah.
There's a website.
Okay, there's South End News.
Or you don't have your own blog.
I do have my own blog too.
Oh, what is that?
That's Boston Theater Wings.
Boston. What a great name.
Yeah.
BostonTheaterWings.com.
If they just go to Boston Theater Wings, it'll
And then they'll see you.
yeah, they'll
Only
see
you.
my name, Jules Becker. They'll see it.
With others or just you?
No, just myself. But that's only things that I don't put into the other papers.
Oh, I understand.
usually. So South End News, Bay Windows. For Bay Windows, they should do Bay Windows newspaper, or they might get advertising for Bay Windows.
Yes.
So, but if they go to Bay Windows newspaper, it'll show up.
And our last.
And also Jewish Journal.
Yes, Jewish Journal.
Yeah.
We have 9 flies when we're having.
Oh,
Rag-
and Ragtime at the Norwell Company Theater in Norwell to the south.
Well, that's a bit of a trip, but it's great.
Yeah, but it's I love Ragtime.
I love
and
him.
especially now
Yeah.
because it deals with immigrants
Oh my.
and also it shares with Hamilton, in fact, the love of immigrants. In Hamilton, there's a line about immigrants.
10.
Immigrants get things done.
10 seconds.
And Ragtime does the same concept
8.
and celebrates immigrants.
Thank you. We celebrate immigrants and we celebrate theater. Thank you, Yehuda.